No one goes to Hank's for his spreadsheets. They go for a darn good pizza. Lately, though, the shop's been quiet, so Hank decides to bring back the $1 slice. He asks Copilot in Microsoft Excel to look at his sales and costs and help him see if he can afford it. Copilot shows Hank where the money's going and which little extras make the dollar slice work. Now Hank has a line out the door. Hank makes the pizza, Copilot handles the spreadsheets. Learn more at m365copilot.com/work.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi!
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Good morning. This is Mike Stoller for the Stoller Real Estate Report. Residential housing in New York, a nightmare. There's no apartments. There's no places for people to live. There's a limited affordability. So I have today my friend Ofer Yardeni, who is the founder and CEO of Stonehenge NYC, Stonehenge Investments, or the Israeli who made it good in New York. I'd like to thank Ofer for being here. Thank
you very much, Michael, for having me.
So tell me what's really happening, inside baseball for the people.
Inside baseball, I love this game, especially for an Israeli. So I came to this country 40 years ago, and I started to work in real estate for the last 30 years ago. And from the day I started, everybody was talking about crisis in the multifamily. No homes, no places to live. In fact, I even remember an episode in Seinfeld that they were talking about how valuable are rent stabilized. So Michael, my dear friend, nothing changed. Crisis 30 years ago, and today, in 2026, we are in a crisis in the multifamily again and again. And if you will listen to my prediction,
that's why you're here.
Nothing will change. Nothing will change. Crisis will continue a year after a year, and prices will continue to increase a year after a year, and New York City will be the best market in the United States. We might have a crisis here and there, but overall it's the most stable market that I've seen in the world. And we are today in a market where I've seen the highest rents that I've seen in the last 30 years. The demand, I've never seen demand like today. And the occupancy is 97, 98, and you can be 100% if you want overnight, just reduce $100. And the biggest surprise is collection. Collection is 99%. So we are really in a wonderful market for owners that own multifamily in New York City. Now, I'm not talking about the boroughs. I'm not talking about necessary certain segments of the market. I'm talking about really the better location here in the city.
But we need housing for the people who are working here, who are moving here.
So that's another misconception that people are talking about. We need houses for working. Can you define to me what do you mean by working? Everybody is speaking about affordability, and they want to build apartment buildings that are at least an hour from the working place, like where we are on 800 3rd. The problem that I see that is being neglected and nobody is speaking about is what do you do about the problem that we have for investment banker and his wife that are making $500,000 a year, or $300,000 or $400,000, or even close to $800,000 a year. Where are they going to live? I always believe that you'll find solution for the people who are making $30,000 or $50,000 or $80,000. There are many programs in the city that they will find housing, but for the guys that are moving from the West Coast, that are technology, for the lawyers that are working on deals, to the investment bankers, to the consultant from McKinsey, to the people that are creating
What
the
about
jobs.
the person who's working in a retail store or a shopping center or construction?
Okay, so yes, for all of them, you need to find apartment in the city, but the way the regulations are working right now, and the way the administration and the way the system is, you will not be able to create housing. The only one that really delivered on his promise to create housing was our Mayor Bloomberg. He developed over 250,000 brand new houses. If it was in the Hudson Yards or Williamsburg or Long Island City. But every other mayor or politician that is aiming to create 250 or 500,000, these are really slogans without the ability to deliver the housing. If you look what's going in the office building, if you drive on Park Avenue, you will see that office buildings are being demolished and new ones are being built. Take, for example, what SL Green created with One Vanderbilt, the rents that they are getting. They took the risk, they demolished old office building, and they built a brand new office building. You can't do it in the Upper West Side or the Upper East Side or other parts of the city. The zoning restriction and even though with the city of Yes, it is almost impossible to demolish those old buildings and to build brand new buildings that can be a place for people to live. So I think that with the current way the system is working, rents will continue to increase and the demand will continue to be here. And I think that we are going to continue to talk about crisis in the multifamily.
Okay, what about upkeep of these buildings, especially in light of the Act of 2019?
So the upkeep is like any other building. I think that real estate taxes will continue to increase. Insurance cost will continue, but I think that the most of the expenses will be absorbed by the new increase that you're going to have on the fair market units that are here in the city.
So where do you see the opportunities for an owner, and where are people coming today to buy buildings?
I think the opportunity today here in the city is to continue to buy in the best locations. For example, we bought few buildings in the Upper East Side. We see a renaissance in the Upper East Side where younger families prefer to stay in the city, and they wish to stay here and they continue to work. So we are buying buildings that were built in the 1960s, 70s, and we are taking two one-bedrooms and combining them to 3 bedrooms with washer and dryer, and we are providing them the ability to live in the city. And so we see continue to work in our building as a Rubik Cube. We always change the layout and we improve them. I think today the opportunities are the lack of availability of capital, equity to buy real estate. I think as much as the rents are at the record high, I think there is lack of capital in the core plus value add. And as a result of that, prices are down by 20-30%. And this is the opportunity for us to buy buildings for $500 or $600 a square foot that are maybe half of replacement costs. And by upgrading the buildings and from the lobby to the hallways and combining units, we are able to create double digits returns that we never saw before. So we are very, very excited about those opportunities. One, because of the lack of capital, and because of the huge demand that we see.
I'd like to thank Ofer Yardeni for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.